Welcome to BeatzNEatz. I'm Chef Net, your wellness curator. Tonight we are making a vegan sausage, onions, mushroom, gravy, rice. In our ingredients, we have an impossible sausage, vegan sausage, mushrooms, some white onions, green bell peppers, garlic cloves, oat flour, some water, vegetable bouillon base for our gravy, some jasmine rice, some asparagus, and in our asparagus we have lemon, some olive oil, and some kosher salt. Ready to cook? Let's cook. So this is an absolute, complete vegan bowl that we are preparing. The impossible sausage that we have here, no meat. It's straight vegan, all vegan tonight. And in this pan, we're gonna do our asparagus, our oil, some kosher salt, and some lemon to give it that zest. But over here, we're gonna cook our sausage, and we're gonna get it all brown in the pan, take it out, and then we're gonna make that mushroom gravy with the bell peppers and the onions. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited for this. Then we're gonna plate it, put it over some rice. I'm just so excited because it's like a cheat meal, but not. It's on the lighter side, but you've got the sausage and the rice, which is gonna give it that comfort food type feel in your belly. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're going for. So I got my non-stick pans here. I'm just gonna add a little bit of oil, even though this is my non-stick pan. I'm just gonna add just a little bit of oil just to get it started. I'm smiling because I'm so excited about this plate. Let's give it a test here. And these take about 12, 13 minutes to cook. So what we'll do is as it cooks, we just roll it around. Same way you would for regular sausage. And this is great for like, if you do like meatless Mondays and you've been looking for a vegan recipe that fits into that, this is great for that. Or on the weekend, if you just want something that's comforting, that full feeling, this is it. And we're gonna take, once these start to brown on all the sides, once they cook, we're gonna take them out, leave those drippings in the pan, and that's where we're gonna make our mushroom and our gravy and our garlic, because I love garlic. We're gonna make our gravy. Crank this up just a bit. And while these are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and also start my asparagus, so they can already be done by the time we finish. And all I gotta do is focus on making my gravy. Because you definitely want attention. When you make gravy, you definitely want to be present and focused on making your gravy. So I'm gonna add some oil to this. pan also. And for my asparagus, lots of vitamins and minerals in it. Cleanser, so that's always a plus. And I'm gonna add a lemon to it. You can use lemon pepper, but since I really like to use whole foods, so I'm just gonna go all in with a squeeze of lemon and some kosher salt. Check back in on these sausages here. They're beautifully coming along. See that sausage there? That's my vegan sausage right there. And these are great for hot dogs, breakfast, anything that you do with a regular sausage, you can do with these. Cooking these sausage and like even cooking vegan meals, I've made like a macaroni and cheese before using certain ingredients to make your meal. I completely fooled my family when I made the mac and cheese, and they were just floored after the fact when I told them that, you know, the entire meal that I prepared for them was vegan. So sometimes you have to trick people into eating certain things, and that's okay. That's okay. It's quite all right. I give you permission to trick them. So our pan is ready over here. So I'm just going to drop those in like that. Just going to let everybody get oiled up in the pan. Pretty asparagus. And so I'm going to take my lemon and just give it a squeeze. Some lemon juice there. And then the only other thing is I'm just going to hit it with some kosher salt just to bring out that flavor. And that's it. That's your asparagus right there. Move around and make sure everybody's done. You can even do the tips. Like, I don't like a lot of the stem on asparagus. I try to cut them as close down as possible to the tips that I can. But you know, there's still a lot of fiber in all of it. So it's pretty much up to you. Check back in on our sausage. Ooh. Make sure we get those rolled around. I'm loving how they are looking. I'm going to add just a little oil to the pan. Like I said, I don't want it to stick, but at the same time, I want there to be enough dripping so I can make my gravy, right? Make sure we get all sides cooked. Turn this down just a bit. Like I said, you don't need a lot of ingredients. This is all you need. And the part that I'm really excited about is all the mushrooms that I'm gonna add to it, like just to bring that flavor out, the mushrooms. You can even do, if you're making your own gravy, you could do a red wine reduction and just give it that pop of flavor. You can do rosemary, you could do dried garlic. I'm using fresh garlic tonight. But you know, it's so much that you can do in your kitchen. This would be a great Sunday dinner. When we get these done, I'm gonna take these off. Oh, it's cooking so beautifully. Check them out, you guys. Check them out. Each side is getting cooked. When we get done and get that gravy going, we're gonna layer those beets over those eats. And speaking of beets, this is BeatzNEatz. So you know how we do. Let me check my asparagus one more time before I tell you about this beet. I call this beet country flair. It has like an uptown country swing to it. It's playful. It's racy. OMG, the country flair. What? I had to switch it up on y'all. I had to switch it up. We're making a country dinner. What better way to have a country flair beet to accompany this meal? All right, we get back in vegan sausage mode here. So my asparagus looks like they're, depending on how soft or firm you like your asparagus. Sometimes I like them on the crunchier side because, you know, that's when you have most of your nutrients. But at times I just like a little soft chew. So I'm gonna let these cook just a few more seconds. And I kind of want to char on them. I want just a little char. I love asparagus, like putting them in foil pouches and cooking them like that, especially on the grill. Look at those. It's beautiful asparagus. It's beautiful. Trying to remember if these are good diuretic. I can't remember. And I think our sausages are ready. And perfect timing. Oh, let me just give you a close-up of these sausages. That's what we're working at right there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and turn my heat down. Get my pan ready to make my gravy. Put my sausage to the side. Look at it, it's just something that you would just want to make a hot dog with, right? I'm gonna take my asparagus off. They smell beautiful. They look beautiful. They smell great. Oh, you guys. And I just can't wait to experience that lemon zest that's on there. It's beautiful. It's all coming together nicely. So now we're going to start working on our gravy. So the first thing I'm going to do is add in my vegetables, get them all sauteed in these drippings here. So the same way you would make like liver and onions and gravy, pretty much the same way. And I am going to add some more oil to this because you do need oil for your gravy. I'm going to add in turn my heat back up. Add in my bell peppers. You can use any type of bell peppers. I like green ones in this particular case because it just gives that nice gravy taste to it. And then I'm going to add in my mushrooms. These are whole Bella mushrooms here. Once again, you can use white mushrooms. You can use any type of mushroom that you want. There's so many out there. And now I'm going to add in my fresh garlic. And you know garlic was going to be part of this. Come on now. You knew that garlic was going to be part of this. Absolutely. Garlic is so good for the cold and flu seasons. It's very good for, keeping you immune, your immune system going well. If you use a lot of garlic in your foods, and particularly if you use dried garlic in a container, try, switching out every now and again for some fresh garlic. I guarantee you will love it. When I started eating garlic, it was, and I still use like garlic powder, but something about fresh garlic, it just does something. So let my vegetables cook down. I have my fresh jasmine rice here. Smells great. And What I also like to use when I'm making gravy is either a bouillon cube that I've boiled in some hot water and just use that as my broth to thicken up my gravy. In this case, I'm gonna just use some bouillon paste. It's pretty much the same. I don't have to boil any cubes or anything. I just add it in. And with bouillon, you have your plenty of salt in here, so I'm not gonna add any salt to it. And if I need to add salt, I'll just add it when I'm eating my dish. I'm gonna crank this up. And it is sucking up my oil very well, which I want also. This can't cook fast enough, I'm telling you. When I was planning this out, I was like, this is gonna be so good. I almost cooked it on my own, like just for dinner. And I was like, nope, I'm gonna save this for BeatzNEatz because I want everybody to be able to experience this, what I'm experiencing or about to experience. If you want to add some pepper to it, you can. Like, what do you put when you eat gravy? What do you like in your gravy? Do you like a white gravy? I've seen white gravies made. You like no gravy? I'm gonna just take this up just a little bit. When I first learned to make gravy, I was like, it's a wrap. I'm really in the game when I learned how to make my own gravy. And it's not even that hard. And if you don't want like rice, you can do it over potato, over white potato, some mashed potatoes. You could do a risotto. The options are limitless. You can add whatever sides you want, some carrots, some Brussels sprouts, like I mentioned earlier, some broccoli, some spinach. And typically when if I want to sweat down my vegetables in my pan, I would add some water to it. But I'm not going to do that in this particular case because I want to keep my oils in here. I don't want to dilute my vegetables with the drippings from my vegan sausage. So I'm just going to cook them. And this is not a quick recipe. It's simple, but it's not quick. So if you're just looking for a quick way to make this is not the recipe. But what it is wholesome, it's vegan, it's filling, and it's delicious. So I would say the time it takes, probably about 45 minutes, which is not really a long time in the kitchen. It probably does add up to an hour if you include all your prep time to cut your onions and your mushrooms, your bell peppers and your garlic. And that's pretty much it. Boil your rice or get one of those little quick pop-in bags. You see how long the asparagus took. So it all depends on what your health goals are. If you're ready to take a turn and start cooking more for yourself, you have to invest that time into cooking your meals. It's cheaper, it's healthier. You control what salt, fat, everything goes into it. It's all in your control. And I look at it like this. Either you do it now or you pay later. And I don't want that for you guys. I don't. I want us to eat whole. I want us to eat clean. I would say 75% of the time, 80% of the time. If you do it 100% of the time, that is awesome. But the reality is, like, we can't always eat clean every single meal, right? So it's best that you accommodate for those other 20% meals that you can't eat whole or clean. And just know that you don't have to go at it 100%. That you take out a percentage of it when you want to eat whole, when you want to eat clean, when you want to eat fresh, and do it in that time. Okay? Like when I lost my 50 pounds and I decided that enough was enough and I was ready to change my diet, I was ready to change my life, the first thing I started doing was, and I talk about that in my book, After the Nest, the Culinary Edition. And all of those, that book is actually a culmination of everything I did to lose 50 pounds. I was at over 200 pounds. I'm down to 150, 155 now. And I kept that off, and I've done that for 10 years. And I've kept it off for over a decade with no extreme dieting, just whole, clean ingredients from the earth, which you would go out and pick from the earth. And that's all you need. If you're diabetic, if you're borderline diabetic, this is what you need to do, is cook your meals, cook whole foods, you know, keep the saturated fats down. Stay away as much as you can. You know, you got that 20% splurge. The cane sugars, the white sugars, the processed sugars, the refined. Now, even though we're using flour tonight, this is purely oat flour. There's nothing in it but crushed, grounded up oats. I'm gonna let my vegetables cook a few more minutes. Before I go ahead and add in my flour, a little bit more oil, and my bouillon and the water, and just start to make up that gravy. It smells amazing, you guys. Something about onions and bell peppers and garlic, when they get together, oh my gosh. So I'm gonna pull this to the side just for a moment. Get ready to prepare my gravy. So I'm gonna add some more oil to the pan. Add some to my vegetables. Because you want to have enough oil when you make your gravy. So what you want to do is you want to add in your flour first. So I have about a tablespoon here. So I'm just going to shake it over into this pan here. I'm gonna move everything around. Until I start to see the coating of the flour on my vegetables in my pan. And you want to add it gradually. You don't want to just dump everything in. Doing another spoonful here on top of my vegetables. So what this does is, once I get ready to hit it with my water, it's just going to start thickening up. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit more to my vegetables in my pan. Add some oil. So now I've got a nice coating on my vegetables in my pan. See right there. This is going to be my last round of flour. So I'm ready to start adding in my water. I'm just going to bring everything together. I'm just going to let it simmer. And it's so beautiful already. And so as you add the water, you want to stir. Like I said, you can add red wine to this. Just give it that bold flavor to it. So now it's starting to simmer. And you want to keep stirring it because you don't want to have a big clump of flour or doughy consistency in your pan. And I've learned that the lower and slower that I let it simmer, the thicker and it gets, and the more I yield in my gravy. So I added a pretty good amount of flour to it because I wanted to yield a lot of gravy for my sausage and my rice. There's nothing like having a lot of rice, a lot of meat, or a lot of, in our case, vegan sausage, and not having enough gravy. Oh my gosh. I've done it before and I just like, I'm always gonna make sure I have enough gravy. And you also want to make sure that, you don't add too much water to it, make it thin, so it's a nice little balancing dance. in making gravy. And like I said, it's beautiful. So I'm gonna let that simmer, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop in my bouillon base. And so I'm just gonna add just a little at a time. Put that in there for now. That mixed in there, and that's gonna add our salt and our meaty taste to it, and give it that color. If you like a darker gravy, you guys, this is looking 5-star-ish. And you can add your meat into it. Whatever meat you choose to use. I may add a couple and just leave 2 out just for the aesthetics. Just for the aesthetics. And also, when you make gravy, you better be ready to stir. Be ready to stir, because it's going to thicken up and give you that beautiful consistency. I'm just going to turn it down a little. I still want it to simmer, but I don't want it to burn or scorch, even though this is a nonstick pan. Guys, look at it. That's the gravy. The onions and the bell peppers. It's beautiful. And I'm just going to do a quick taste just to see if I have enough salt. If I need to add a little bit more to it. Spot on the money. I love my consistency. I love how everything is cooked into it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. The salt level is perfect. And you can't even tell that this is a vegan gravy. Who said meat you have to have every day? Every meal. You don't. You don't. And I'm proving it here on BeatzNEatz with a country flair. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to add one of my sausages to the pan. Let's do 2. Turn that down. And I may be able to add just a little bit more water, because it's starting to thicken up again. And if I add more water, I can just continue to taste it and see if I still have enough salt flavor in it. Get my sausages rolled around in there. I'm going to have a lot of gravy. super excited about that. Vegan sausage, onions, mushrooms, gravy, rice, right here on BeatzNEatz. Come here, you get the beats, you get the eats. There's nothing more therapeutic, in my opinion, than cooking and music. You guys, this is a vision to behold, this gravy here. I'm gonna turn it back down. I'm gonna give it another taste. Another spoon. So since the water diluted it just a little bit, I'm gonna add another hit of that bouillon base in there. Get that mixed around. And we are about done. Our gravy is complete. So we're gonna layer those beets over these eats, get our asparagus and our rice and our sausage and our gravy, get it all plated up and ready to go. You ready to plate? Let's plate. Vegan sausage, onions, mushroom, gravy, rice with a side of lemon asparagus is ready to taste, and I am so excited about this meal. I'm just ready to go. I'm just ready. So where should we start? Let's start with our guest of honor. Let's start with our sausage here. Yes. And get it rolling around in that gravy, that homemade gravy, not from a jar, not from a container. Let's just get it. My gosh. I'm glad I put them in there and let them simmer. My rice is so pretty. I don't want to mess it up, but let's start over here. Oh my gosh. Let me grab my mushroom here. Got me a whole fresh. Boy, oh my gosh. This meal right here, it is extraordinary. It's seasoned well. It's perfect. And I like to eat my asparagus. Even when I'm at a fine dining restaurant, I eat my asparagus with my fingers. And they still got that crunch to them, but they're not hard. It's just like a perfect perfect bite. And then that lemon juice, it really cooked them to a really nice consistency too, because you know lemon acidity is going to cook your food as well. But this right here, paired with this, I don't know what else to say about this besides enjoy some beets.